Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name is Andy, my channel is Finding Value, and if you guys are interested in undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe. I'm going to go over gold and silver, do some technical analysis here. I'm going to go over the yields, 10-year yields, dollar, and then I'll go over gold, silver, platinum, and then some companies that are associated with some ETFs and whatnot. So let's jump in, see what I got. I'm going to start with the 10-year yield, and I was watching another channel and they made a very good point. This could be something like a cup and handle pattern that's forming, kind of the bowl. It could be, or it's just a flag pattern that's developing. And if we break to the upside, because there's no way that yields I think are going to go lower. If you hear the Fed, everyone's talking about inflation. I don't know if they're just job owning, trying to get people worried about inflation. Not exactly sure. But if inflation's out there, and from what I can see and what I can tell and from what I purchase, there is inflation. So this would be a flag pattern that would break to the upside, signaling higher interest rates. But at the moment, we are not seeing that. It is still in its pattern kind of coming down, which means that TLT, which are bonds, would be going up, and they are. Kind of broke out of this little pattern here. You can see nice big update with the small down days coming or to launch higher. We might see things kind of go in the opposite direction. We definitely look like we're going to have a pullback for commodities overall. Here's the dollar. The dollar's been strengthening. Today, it's strengthened as well. 0.34% is a pretty good up day. But overall, you can see we've got some support down here, and it's kind of heading higher. I don't think this is going to be long lasting. Here's gold. It's a big old flag pattern. If you look at it from this perspective, a gigantic one. And here's the bottom of the pattern. Here's the top. And if you were to look at this, you could say that it broke out. It might retest or backtest and then move on up. So I think we're almost done with this retest, and we're probably going to move up here pretty shortly. Silver's trying to break out of this pattern that it's in. Just got to give it time. And then platinum's got this megaphone expanding pattern here. It was trying to break through it, and it didn't break through, and it's kind of coming back with the rest of gold and silver, the rest of the precious metals. And I think eventually this thing's going to take a good shot at the upper channel there, break out. Here's GDX. GDX, you could draw this lower pattern in here as well. It's just one big flag pattern. It broke out. It's probably going to come back and retest or backtest and then probably move higher. GDXJ is doing the same exact thing. SILJ, it's following its bigger brother bigger brother gold. So it's pulling back with the rest. Endeavor Silver, we've got this kind of increasing wedge pattern going on. You got to watch out. Sometimes these like to break to the downside. Maybe we have more downside, but it's hard for me to believe that would go to the downside with inflation, with real negative rates. I think we're just pausing. I think we're going to move higher at some point. Mag Silver, if you draw it like this, it's still in its kind of expanding wedge pattern, and it's going to hopefully try to break to the upside eventually. Wheat and precious metals broke its downtrend. I put another kind of trend line in here, broke out, and then maybe we come back a little bit and then head higher. I think gold and silver overall they're gonna head higher. Cisco Gold Royalties, I drew it a little bit different this time. Drew it across like this, and you could say it hit its head there. Kind of relaxing. Ely Gold, kind of here's support. It did break this downtrend line. It's a big flag pattern. Just coming back. It looks like it's strengthening today. That's good to see. I do like Ely Gold Royalties. And then Tutin Resources, again, you could probably put this as a huge flag pattern, a gigantic one. Actually, you know what? Let's draw it in. Let's see what this thing looks like. You could say something like that. It's a big old flag pattern. Doesn't look too bad, though. Sandstorm Gold, another one that's pulling back a little bit. And then Franco-Nevada, it's not quite at the double top almost, or a topping where it gets a lot of resistance of sellers up here, but it did break its downtrend. We're coming on up, pulled back a little bit. And again, guys, we're looking at kind of the short term here. I am a long-term guy. I look at the long term, the big picture. I think that real estate, if we see real estate crash, that's where our signal is. Some of these patterns would then, it would come to the downside, but we're not seeing it yet, at least. Real estate's looking strong, inventory's low, everything looks to be intact. The talk, at least, is about inflation. Sometimes it's just job owning, though. Sometimes it's very difficult to read. I don't trust a lot of the numbers that they put out, so difficult to know what's going on. Inflation-wise, I do think we have inflation. I see it out there. You can see it in a lot of prices going higher. Is it going to be long-lived or short-lived? As long as real estate is strong, I think it's going to continue going up. I know there's a lot of deflationists out there, some of them. I just don't prescribe to that camp unless I see house prices fall. Then I can change my mind, but we're not seeing that. So I think gold and silver is a good spot to be. I think it will remain. It will be strong over the midterm to long term. In the short term, obviously, we have to overcome some downside momentum. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.